At the White House, President Trump remained noncommittal on sending Ukraine the long-range Tomahawk missiles needed to strike deeper into Russia. He met with Volodymyr Zelensky today after his more than 2-hour call with Putin about the war on Ukraine on Thursday. We're joined now by Charles Kupchan, senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations. Charles, good to be with you again. On these Tomahawks, what impact, let's say America gave them all to Ukraine, what impact would that have?
You know, these are quite long-range weapons. They can hit Moscow and beyond. They carry a punch. So the costs would go up to the Russian population and to Putin. It would change Putin's cost-benefit analysis. Is this some sort of game changer? No, there is no single game changer. I think it's an arrow in Trump's quiver. And my own view is if Trump's going to get a deal out of Putin, he's going to have to apply a lot more pressure than just Tomahawks. I don't think we had a decision today on the Tomahawks because he wants to hold that in reserve when he meets with Putin in this upcoming meeting in Budapest, saying, hey, I need you to make a deal or I may well transfer these long-range weapons.
We had a meeting in Alaska. I was there. And now there's a meeting in Budapest. What does this tell you about the state of things, and what do you think could come out of such a meeting?
Listen, John, I mean, you were in Alaska. Trump and Putin have met or talked over a half dozen times. His special envoy, Steve Witkoff, keeps going to Moscow. They have good conversations. What has Trump gotten out of all of this negotiating? Nothing, nada, zippo. Every night, the Russians continue to bomb Ukraine. One can only hope that in the conversation that Trump and Putin had this week, Trump had some signal that that Putin is ready to change his way, to make some concessions here. I don't yet see it, but let's hope for the best. Let's hope that Trump can pull a rabbit out of the hat when he meets with Putin in Hungary.
Charles, bring Europe on stage here, NATO on stage. What role have they taken, and where do they fit in this narrative?
You know, they have really picked up the slack that Trump has left by backing away from giving Ukraine more economic and military support. The Europeans are now buying American weapons. They're increasing economic support to Ukraine. But I think in the end of the day, if we're going to get a deal here, Trump has to step up and say, hey, I'm going to help Ukraine until the job is done. You know, Putin isn't going to stop until he runs into a stopping force. And I think Biden got it right by giving Ukraine what it needed to defend itself, but he dropped the ball on diplomacy. Trump does the diplomacy, but he dropped the ball on helping Ukraine. He's got to help Ukraine, keep the diplomatic door open, and he may well get across the finish line.